Revelation 1965. From the 22nd and 23rd of June 1941. Worldly researchers. The worldly wise often give a detailed explanation of the results of their research but disregard the fact that truthful results can only be achieved through spiritual research. Earthly evidence is only ever valid where earthly research is concerned, but it lacks any foundation for creations which lie outside the earthly realm. And these people cannot grasp that earthly wisdom is not sufficient for such creations. God has set limits to human research and human knowledge which can only be followed with God's approval. But He grants this approval to anyone who wants to enrich his knowledge, that is, He gives him enlightenment about problems which are unsolvable for earthly people. God Himself distributes this gift. God Himself introduces the human being to knowledge and requires profound faith and desire for truth to do so. Then every question will be answered and every problem solved. However, the human being has the ambition to excel, that is to surpass his fellow human being in knowledge, and this is then a somewhat noble motive for his research. Consequently, success will also be correspondingly low. To want to fathom the truth for the sake of truth is pleasing to God. But to want to fathom it for the sake of success will never produce infallible success. Therefore, the results of the researches of the worldly wise are seldom to be believed. Rather, errors are often spread which require great spiritual knowledge to refute. God, however, stands by those who fight against such error on earth in order to make humanity more receptive for the pure truth. Only that which comes from above, that is that which God, as truth Himself, gives, can be regarded as truth. Man, in his delusion, believes himself to be infallible. His entire thinking and research is based on a completely wrong biology, and he is so convinced of the correctness of his conclusions that a counter-opinion cannot arise. If, however, he were to accept such an opinion, then a whole edifice of thought would collapse, and this could well confuse the thinking of man as long as he does not recognize in God and His working such a power, which is wiser than all the sages of the world. How inconceivably small is the human being, and what problems does he dare to solve? All the wisdom of the earth is not able to penetrate into supernatural things. And supernatural is everything that is outside the earth, no matter whether they are visible or invisible to man. There are no limits to the spirit, but there are to the human intellect. And all purely intellectual research is to be judged as misguidance if divine spirit has not been called upon for it. How quickly people believe they have found the key and how far they are still from the truth. Such wisdom may well apply to earth, but it can never be brought into harmony with extraterrestrial creations, even though these appear to be in closest connection with earth as mother stars. What belongs to earth is accessible to human research, but beyond that the head mind fails if the spirit in the human being does not become active at the same time. Those who abandon themselves to God in order to be taught by Him will experience more of the purest truth in a short time than years of study by worldly researchers can bring them. For everything spiritual wants to be grasped spiritually. But what is outside the earth is only spiritual, only visible to the human eye as luminous or lightless bodies, which, however, in reality do not consist of tangible, earthly substance but merely appear to be formed through the emanation of the more or less perfect spiritual. This explanation is almost unacceptable to all worldly researchers, and it is therefore an almost hopeless endeavor to make the pure truth accessible to them. And yet, the truth about it has to be conveyed to earth, for people, through their apparent wisdom, distance themselves ever more from the truth and therefore also from faith. For the more they want to investigate themselves, the more they exclude the eternal deity. They think they are so wise that they can also analyze the power from God and fall deeper and deeper into error. But the Spirit from God gives enlightenment to every person who desires pure truth for the sake of truth. Amen.